Hello friends, and welcome to a Reading New Horror reading vlog. In this vlog, my attempt is to read new releases, but also tackling some arcs, and some of those arcs are new releases. So hopefully the arcs happen, because they haven't so far. I was going to talk about a couple of new books that I have already read because I just haven't vlogged since my clown vlog, which thank you guys so much for such sweet comments on that vlog. It honestly warms my heart. That was so sweet. You guys left the best comments ever. And yeah, I was a bit nervous about that vlog, and also I didn't know what I was going to do for that intro. So yeah, that was very sweet. Yeah, I love all the interaction on that one. But anyways, for this vlog, I have read I wanted to talk about The Handyman Method by Nick Cutter and Andrew something. This came out at the beginning of August, I believe, and I ended up reading it at the beginning of September. It was kind of a transition book. I started it at the end of August. It is on Scribd. I did not like this book, though. Spoiler alert. It is, you could tell what it was shooting for, but it doesn't hit the mark. And it comes off kind of offensive too. It's trying to do the stereotypical misogyny's bad, but at the same time it's the character is not learning that, I feel like, and it's just kind of being misogynistic, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of this one, which you would think I would be, because it's very weird. It's like The Shining, Poltergeist, with technology stuff happening in it. I think it's compared to Black Mirror too. So basically this is about this guy who loses his job, and he has to move into a house in the country that is from his wife's family, or in his wife's family. And while he's out of work, he starts watching these YouTube videos of this guy on how to fix stuff around the house, and the guy starts saying horrible shit, pretty much, horrible stuff, and the guy starts to think that way. So yeah, it's very reminiscent of, I feel like this could be a Black Mirror episode, but also it wasn't executed well, and also it was so repetitive too, and there's animal cruelty in this for no reason. It has to do with a turtle, and I was like, this whole scene did not even have to happen, and it's disgusting and it's awful, and it didn't even prove any point whatsoever. This book was very frustrating. So yeah, I think I'm leaning towards a 2-star for this one. And then another new release, I actually just finished, is There's No Way I Die First. I believe this is by Lisa Springer. I just listened to this. I had an extra Audible credit, and I had a blast with this one. It's a YA horror book, so it's pretty easy. It also is a big homage to horror movies in general. The main character runs a horror podcast, and it is set on Halloween night, and she does a showing of Fright Night, which is one of my favorite vampire movies, if you guys didn't know. So I was all about this book. The cover too is clown. This is a creepy clown story, and I was just yes, I am not out of my clown phase yet, apparently. So I had a lot of fun with it. I will say I feel like it did drag a bit longer, and the characters are very unlikable. They're a bunch of rich kids, and that's kind of what this whole story is kind of based on, is how the wealthy get, I don't know, how they have a big social media following, and how they can buy their way into things, and how, yeah, just overall, I guess, capitalism commentary in here, while at the same time being very young, and it sounded very young. the main character we follow is the horror movie fan. So that was the best part, I think, was her being like, thinking like a horror movie and stuff, what to do, not to do, and how it was a cliche and stuff. That was some of my favorite parts of this. But again, like, just the drama with the kids and them being rich and like them doing the bad stuff, and that's why they're in this situation now, is because of their actions, or because like how, like, they were born rich or whatever. It kind of didn't work for me all the way. I was like, I wasn't quite sure like where this author was trying to go with the commentary towards the end. But overall, I thought it was great. It's very gory. It's disturbing. Great imagery in this big mansion because this girl is rich, right? She has the best freaking Halloween decoration. She has the best party ideas. To rent a clown and play hide and seek. Maybe not the best one, but overall it was an easy listen, and it was fun, and I absolutely love the cover. I definitely want to get a physical book of this too, so I think I'm leaning towards a 4-star for it. And yeah, it is a perfect Halloween read. I believe this is my friend Savs from Riveting Reads book club pick for October, and it couldn't be more perfect. Honestly, I'm just like impatient, and when I see something I want to read, I'm like, I cannot wait until October to read this. So I'm glad I read it. And yeah, it just came out September 5th. Another book I have started is Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi, and I am enjoying this so far. I believe this came out in July, and I'm listening to it on Scribd, and it is about boys in an orphanage, I believe in the mountains of California or something, but it's like old-timey. I want to say like maybe 1900 or so. And basically something goes down one night. This guy's brought into the orphanage because one of the priests there is like a doctor or something, and they need help, and he's all messed up, and apparently he was like a cult leader or something, but he ends up dying there, and then stuff starts getting weird. I'm at a part right now where I'm like, these poor boys. You feel really bad for the boys right off the bat. I mean, it's like a Catholic orphanage, like, let's get real. They were awful, right? Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It's mostly sad for the boys, but it's also like got all those vibes, and it has like this great isolation feeling and cold feeling, and I am enjoying it right now. And for arc-wise, I have been reading That Night in the Woods by Christopher Triana, and I am having a time with this one. I'm not gonna lie. This one is rough too. It's not extreme, it's just boring. It's just very slow. I think this is one of his like thriller horror books. It isn't like his extreme books. But it's about to be archived on NetGalley, so I almost had my loan on NetGalley. I guess it is kind of a loan. It's like, you better read it before this date. We're following a bunch of different people, and it goes back and forth. That's why it gives me thriller vibes, because it goes back to when they're in high school to the present day, when they're in their like late 30s or in their 40s or whatever, and somebody from their friend group ends up passing away. So this other guy is like, we should all get together, and it keeps going back to that night in the woods. That takes place around a cemetery, which is cool, and I love those vibes of when they're in the woods, they're just being kids, and yeah, there's some creepy stuff happening. I'm not sure where, like, what type of thing it's going to be. I'm guessing what it is, but I still don't know where it's going, and that's why it's keeping me reading. But overall, it is very, 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 very slow. This is 366 pages of people like just talking about nothing, I feel like, and I'm at a point right now, I think I'm 50% in, and I'm at a point where it's like they're about to read a journal, and like they haven't read the journal, and I'm like, hasn't it been like 100 pages since this thing was introduced and you still haven't read it yet? So I am so annoyed, but I'm also reading this before bed on my phone, and it is a PDF, and I can't make it like, I usually read like with black, it's like black and white letters. It's just easier on my eyes at night, and so that could be it too. The format is just not for me either, and it's really tough for me to read it, and I have to like adjust it every time I go in. So yeah, it's a mixture of things with this one, but I'm definitely going to see it through. This is like a fight right now. I'm like fighting my way through this book. We shall see where I end up. I'm gonna drink a bunch of iced coffee, pumpkin spice iced coffee, which is very important right now, and attempt to get some stuff done before work, and I shall check in later. Okay, so it has been a lot of days since I last vlogged. It's been 3 or 4 days, I think. I kind of wanted this to be more of a cozier vlog. So I did finish a couple of books. I finished The Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi, and I did really enjoy this until the ending. I didn't really care for the ending, so I'm giving it 4 stars. I think this is a great, like, scary, isolated setting, snowy setting. This would be a great winter read, but it is kind of religious, and I feel like the ending is too, and I was like, okay, so I was like kind of confused about that ending, but overall it was very spooky and creepy kids, and yeah, overall like unsettling, and also very, very cold too, which was nice to read. And what else did I finish? Oh yeah, That Night in the Woods by Christopher Triana. I finished it. Oh boy. This was tough to finish, but I did like the reveal. I did like the horror aspect of this book, but like, I don't know, it was with the execution of it, honestly. Like, the drama between everybody was just like a lot, and I didn't care about any of the characters. So I think I'm leaning towards a 2.5 just because there is some really great imagery in it towards the end, but other than that, it was like not great. But anyways, so that was an arc, and another new reading. Can I talk right now? I can't talk. I have been sipping on a pumpkin cream cold brew, so I'm like, ooh, I'm mostly just pumpkin spice at this point this week, because I got a bunch of pumpkin spice stuff, like creamers and stuff. I got some sugar-free stuff. It's been a very chaotic week. It has been like the most chaotic week of my 30s, it feels like, you know, and it just, a bunch of stuff is going on. You're like, oh, I have a dentist appointment that day. That's gonna be fine. It's 2.5 hours long. Everything's fine. I just go to like a dentist school now because my insurance changed, and that's the only place I can go, and it just takes a long time. Everything is good. No cavities. They want me to get my wisdom teeth out, and they actually like terrified me about it. yeah, so I'm like, oh great, I have to get my wisdom teeth out at some point. This year, they're like, it should happen this year. I'm like, oh God. So yeah, that was a lot. And work, I've been working a ton. I worked a couple of nights until like 10 or 11 o'clock this week, and there was like drama at my work. But anyways, I did do some decor hunting. You might see him down here. I had to get him. I just had to. I popped into Target on my way into one of my jobs earlier this week, and I saw him, and there was only 2 of him. And I was like, I started to walk away. I was like, oh, that's cute. And I started to walk away, and I was like, no, I gotta get him. I gotta get it. Because if he's not here when I come back, I'm going to be so sad. And you know what? Life is fleeting, okay? Like, buy the Halloween decor when you can. And he glows. I still have to put batteries in him. But yeah, very cute. I know you might not be able to really see because it's so bright in here. Adorable. Adorable. And also, like, is it a satanic? A little. That's why I looked at it and I was like, that's cute. And I looked back and I was like, ooh, that's kind of like sinister a bit, right? So I have no idea where I'm going to put him. I just know I needed it. That's the thing. I just needed it. $25. You know what? Made my freaking day. I was so excited. I also got this little wooden pitcher for, so I'm not doing a whole pumpkin wall because I have my pumpkin corner, but I am going to attempt to do like a gallery style wall, which Alex says I say that word all the time now. I'm like, oh, a gallery wall. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, I think this would add like something different to that wall. But it's so cute. It's like he's walking the bat. Oh my gosh, I had to have it. I had to have it. It was $10. They also had the cat on the pumpkin, which is also really cute too, because it's just like doing that cat thing. Like Beans does this all the time, like have his little arms over something, so his food is like up on a high thing, and he'll just kind of lay over and be like that. Like, it's just adorable. It's a total cat move. I really debated on getting that one too, but I think this one's cuter. Also, I don't decorate a ton with black cats anymore. I used to, but I was like, I have a black cat. I have the ultimate black cat decoration. Like, I don't need a ton of black cat stuff. And then I had to get, it's already open. I haven't used it yet, but I went to use it last night when I got home, but it was like already 9:30, and I was like, am I gonna be a lunatic and make ghost pancakes at 9 or waffles at 9:30 at night? I don't think so. They're fabulous waffles. So cute. It was only $10. I was going to get the spiderweb one this year, but this is new. They didn't have the ghost last year, so I think they only had the pumpkin and the spiderweb last year at Target. This is all Target, by the way. Target stuff is so cute. It is so tiny. I love it. I love how purple it is. So yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to get to this in this vlog to make these, but it is just adorable. And I don't have a waffle maker. So I was very excited about that. But it is Alex's birthday weekend as well. We are having a Zelda theme party, which I am not excited about, other than I get to dress up as a bat. I'm going to be a Keys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what those are in Zelda, but that is the most exciting thing, is that I'm going to be a bat, honestly. But I did buy some decorations, like, for a little kids party for him. It's his 40th. So, yes. A lot to do. We like to do, like, this is when we deep clean, is for parties, so I will be cleaning. Also, my friend is in town for the weekend, and I'm about to meet her for lunch, and we're just gonna walk around and maybe hit up the Oktoberfest. There's an Oktoberfest here at is it a Catholic school? I don't know. It's at some private school here for some reason. They're like, they throw this big Oktoberfest every year. And yeah, so I don't know how much more reading I'm going to get done, but I have been listening to Rouge by Mona Awad, and I am so hooked on this book, and I wish I could like listen to it all weekend. I probably won't, of course I won't get a chance to, but I'm going to try to get to finish this. So this is kind of, it's giving me fairy tale vibes. Not Stephen King's fairy tale, just like a regular fairy tale vibes. This is about a woman who is just lost her mother. And both of them, I want to say both of them are kind of obsessed with beauty. And she has to go back home to California, and she's like kind of finding all this stuff out about her mom and what she's been up to these past years. And one of them is a strange beauty product in her bathroom. The description to this just sounded so bananas, because I was going to pick, I was choosing between What Kind of Mother by Chloe Chapman and Rouge to read for this vlog, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to read Rouge. Like, I love Chloe Chapman, don't get me wrong, but the synopsis of this book is so bananas. It is, I don't know if it gives too much away though, so that's why I'm like hesitant to even say what it is. I'm like, it is, should I say it? It is in the synopsis. And then I'm halfway through an arc of Midnight Showing by Megan Shepherd. This is book 2 in the Malice Compendium. So the sequel to Malice House. You guys know I loved Malice House, and I am loving Midnight Showing. I just haven't had a ton of time to read it, but I am absolutely loving it. It's so great. So if you don't remember, Haven is a film recapper slash reviewer for like horror movies in Malice House in the first book. So this one is actually following, like, you get snippets from a film from the 40s that is so creepy. It's not a real film to my knowledge, just to my general film knowledge, but it is so creepy and eerie. And then of course we are kind of along for the mystery of what happened in Malice House. So I can't spoil it because boy oh boy, it's crazy. So I can't talk a ton about this one because it is a direct sequel, but I'm loving it. I'm having a blast with it. There's something very cozy about Malice House and Midnight Showing that I can't really translate into words. Like, I don't know, it's just like cozy horror, like my taste of cozy horror. Not quite Darcy Coates though, a little bit thrillery. It's hard to articulate what I mean by that, but I just find comfort in I found comfort in Malice House while reading it, and I am finding comfort in Midnight Showing, if that makes sense. While at the same time, it's very creepy and eerie and interesting and, yeah, and fun at the same time. So, those are the 2 books I will probably end this vlog with, and I will try to check in sooner than later. And get some footage of the Zelda party. Hopefully I'll have some footage of me as the keys, which I think is going to be fun. But yeah, I will check in later. Okay, so it has been a couple of days since I last checked in, so I'm just here to wrap up. As I said before, I was very busy for Alex's birthday, and yeah, I had a blast all weekend. Like, I might have had too much fun, and it wasn't even my birthday, but yeah, he had a blast too. So yeah, lots of fun happening, and yeah, I did not finish Midnight Showing by Megan Shepherd though, but I am 80% in, and I think it is going to be like a 4 or 5 star for sure. Where it's going and like what it's doing is so interesting and fun, and as I said before, very cozy, so I'm very much enjoying it. And then Rouge by Mona Awad. I loved this book. Very reminiscent of Bunny. It's kind of like a fever dream for most of the book. So if you don't like that, I don't recommend it because it's very trippy. It's very weird because what starts to happen to Belle, the main character, is like she starts to like kind of lose her mind and like go into this other way of thinking, I guess. But yeah, it's real trippy stuff happening in this one. And I will say the premise I said earlier about like, or what the premise is, like this weird spa situation, I will say like you don't really get a lot from that aspect of it, which I really liked because I was kind of worried it was going to get bogged down with details. And it doesn't, which I really liked. I like just not knowing stuff, you know, like this just exists, you know, like why do we need to explain everything to a T? We surely don't live our life like that, right? We're not given like so much information about mysterious things and stuff like that. So I really liked it. I know a lot of people probably won't like that aspect of it. But yeah, I loved it. I love the commentary about, how women are held to these way different standards than men, beauty standards, and how much work, and like an influencer way too, because she watches an influencer every day and like her routine and stuff, but it's something like you can't talk about at the same time. So yeah, I really like that. There's very much like a Wizard of Oz fairy tale vibe in this, and the imagery was gorgeous. It was really creepy in moments and weird, and I loved it. It was so good. It's like when you read a book and you're like, oh my gosh, like it was so bananas. The writing was great, and you're just like, it's a blast. It is so much fun. I could feel myself like with the main character so much too, like in her head, like oh my gosh, I'm going crazy too with you. So yeah, I really like that aspect of it. It's very character driven, and yeah, not knowing I think was like the funnest part of this. Like the ending, it ended so good. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I love it. So yeah, 5 stars, an easy 5 stars I would say for this one, but as I said, it's not going to be for everybody because it is very vague about stuff, and it's very trippy, like Bunny. So yeah, lots of fun stuff happening in Rouge. It also reminded me of that episode of Cabinet of Curiosities. Oh gosh, what is it? It's the beauty one. I can't think of the name right now, but that episode with like the goo thing kind of reminded me of that. It also has, yeah, just like a lot of like Disney stuff in it too, if you like Disney stuff, which is funny because of Mayfly. But yeah, this main character also was a Disney princess. So lots of Disney princess horror out there right now. New horror. But yeah, I loved it. It was fantastic. Yeah, highly recommend if you're into more trippy, maybe more lit fic, narrative style stuff. What was I even trying to say? Yeah, that is the end of this vlog that I totally feel like I failed at because of a chaotic week, but hopefully it was like cozy-ish. Yeah. No idea what my vlog is going to be next week, but we shall see. Probably a week of weird, honestly. I think that's what it's going to be. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, which horror books are you most excited about, or which new horror books have you read recently? And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye!